Welcome back to Slide 2. This is part 21, and we're now beginning episode 6. The main music's changed here, so we're definitely getting close to the end. And this is a personal favorite episode of mine, so let's see it.
Following the trail of spice shipments, we made our way up to Nunavut Bay, Canada, the secret hub of Jean Bisson's shipping empire. As a young man, he trekked across Canada to strike it rich during the gold rush of 1852. An avid prospector, he took some chances and ended up buried alive in an avalanche. Miraculously, the quick freeze kept him alive, and 120 years later, thanks to global warming, he thawed out. A product of his time, he dreams of taming the wild north, damming every river and chopping down all the trees, with progress delivered at the sharp end of an axe. Shipping spice for the Claw Gang proved a lucrative way to bankroll his one-man war against nature. And yet, I have to feel a little sorry for him. He's just a normal guy from the 1850s. Back in his day, he'd be a hero, but today, he's a villain. Either way, that man's got more than his fair share of the clockwork parts. What a low-tech guy like Jean Bisson is doing with robot parts is a mystery. I almost don't want to know. But as always, it's only a matter of time before I find out.
Oh, Canada. And this is basically a breather episode here. This is way easier than the Contessa's castle. Like, so much so. You can relax here when you get to this point.
I've got a lead on the clockwork parts. Head through town and out into the wilderness.
And man, look at this atmosphere. It's not so dark anymore. I think this is like the first bright map in the game. So you can forgive anyone for thinking this is pretty welcoming. And I mean, a lot of this is so much nicer. The guards have better loot now. Jobs are much easier here. Yeah, I think you'll spend less time finishing this chapter than any other one. So enjoy it while it lasts, because it won't be much.
That cabin may seem rustic, but don't be fooled. It's the control center for Jean Bisson's trade empire. Sneak inside and raid his files. You're sure to find out where he keeps his clockwork parts.
Ransacking his files doesn't sound hard. Now, climbing up a sheer rock wall, that'll be a challenge.
You're in luck. Before Jean Bisson took over, this used to be a popular destination for rock climbers. Some of their old wall hooks are still around.
I'm guessing I just jump and hit the circle button to latch on.
That's right. And remember to lean back before you spring off the hook. You'll get more altitude.
Thanks for the tip. I'll give it a try.
This level's even nicer to slide than the previous two. More advantages for him to utilize. And these train tracks are pretty good at giving you a height advantage anywhere, even as Bentley and Murray.
Jackpot, Sly! That's Jean Bisson!
Looks like he didn't notice me come in.
Just stay out of sight and take a picture of each of his trade routes. They should narrow our search for his share of the clockwork parts.
All right, I'm on it.
Hello, Arpeggio here.
Salutations, Mr. Arpeggio. Y'all got time to shoot the breeze?
Of course, for you chums always. Although must we communicate through that dreadful speakerphone?
Yeah, I can think better while my legs move. Pumps blood to your brain.
Yes, of course. One must keep blood in one's brain. But do tell, Is there some pressing matter you'd like to discuss?
First off, are you still coming on schedule to get that Northern Lights battery?
Yes, we're well underway. My blimp should arrive at the end of the week.
Bullseye. For second, when you gonna give me a look-see at that clockwork brain of yours? I'd sure like to buy it off you.
Be sown, you covetous troglodyte. You've already got the lion's share of the parts. Would you take my meager portion of the robotic bird for your own and strip me of all my earthly pleasures?
Easy there, partner. You're all up in a lather. It's just that I found some real use for the clockwork parts I got. Why, I put 3 of them in the engines of my best trains. With those robotic doohickeys feeding the fire, them trains will run all night and all day. I call them my iron horses. Of course, I gotta keep the plans hidden. Stuffed them in my 3 trophy bass.
Sounds like you're making capital use of your share of the robotic loot. But for now, the clockwork brain stays with me on the blimp. Although, when I arrive to pick up the Northern Lights battery, I might be persuaded to give you a peek.
That'll do fine. By the way, you ready to giddy up into Perry for the final hoedown?
Yes, the blimp's hypnotist wavelengths conform to the specs drawn up by the Contessa, and Dmitri, before his unfashionable capture, did a bang-up job of distributing spice through his nightclub.
Sounds like all you're missing is some Northern Light electricity.
You're correct, sir. Yours is the final piece to the puzzle, the missing link. Once the battery is aboard, nothing will stand in the Claw Gang's way. Paris will be ours.
Yeah, okay. So, I guess I'll be seeing you at the end of the week.
Right. Farewell, Bisson. Stiff upper lip. Ta-ta.
That's not a good look for Paris. A mass hypnotism plan. Well, this Claw Gang certainly have found a use for their parts. And, well, they don't need them, obviously, because we got the eye, and that didn't seem to do anything to stop them.
Sly, did you hear that? Bison's hidden the Iron Horse blueprints in his trophy bass. Head for the fish on top of the fireplace and steal those plans. Excellent! Now get out of that cabin before you're spotted.
Luckily, we never have to tail John Bison anywhere. This is about as close as we get to him. Of course, if he sees you here, it's job failed. Anyway, I should probably read his profile here.
After analyzing Bison's decorating techniques, I think we'll find the other trophy bass above the mantle in the 2 remaining cabins.
John Bison, chief transporter for the Claw Gang. Distinguishing qualities: boastful and old-fashioned. Background: looking to strike it rich in the gold rush, frozen alive during free gangs, thought 100 years later, leaving out of touch with present-day society. Product of his time, he dreams of taming the wild north by damming every river and chopping down all the trees. The product was delivered at the sharp end of an axe, using his trains as spans throughout the Canadian plains.
Yep, just like I thought. Get to the fish above the mantle and steal those blueprints.
John Bison's abilities are of the utmost importance to the Claw Gang. I would imagine so, with him transporting that. His quote: "No one could stop my mighty iron horses." Last known location, traveling the Canadian frontier, transporting loot for the Claw Gang. I guess it's not just spice he's taking around here.
Jean Bison's in for another rude awakening the next time he checks in this vault. The code should be 129.
That's a pretty simplistic code. I guess that's what an old-fashioned person would have.
You got the music box move!
Yeah, it was a pretty good use for the rage bomb here. Although we gotta calm him down.
2 down, 1 to go.
So we should make good use of that music box gadget. Unless they want to kill themselves first. I mean, this is always the most entertaining part of this. Anyway, even the Tom gadget's outdated with this thing. Not only does it alert our guards to come close to it, it puts them to sleep. I can only imagine how deprived of sleep they must be for that to work. Oh, by the way, watch out for those iron horses. If you touch them, it's instant death, just like that train from episode 4. Luckily, they're pretty easy to avoid, and they don't go nearly as fast as that train did. Yeah, but always be aware of the sound they make, because the last thing you want to end up being is, you know, roadkill on the train tracks.
The last trophy bass is above the fireplace. Be careful.
Attention all cabin guards. I've heard tell from the boys at Ponderosa Cabin there's someone been in my hidden blueprints. Everyone stay sharp. This ain't no summer camp. I don't pay you boys to lollygag while there's a thief in these parts.
Well, he found out already. Doesn't really matter though. It's not stopping Sly from getting this.
Exceptional work, Sly. That's the last of the blueprint.
And as you can see here, they have the same reaction to waking up after, you know, getting sleep darted. Just like scanning around the area. Although I think they did that, like when I blew up nothing there, like on their like patrol path. But it's just a little more obvious here. I guess it just leaves out Murray, who has no way to put these guys to sleep besides putting them to sleep. If you know what I mean.
Armed with all 3 blueprints, we should be able to isolate and track the Iron Horse trains through that satellite dish.
Top of the mountain, huh? Shouldn't take long.
Even getting on to the top of this mountain here is a lot nicer than trying to get to the top of the re-education tower. Like seriously, this is such a drastic change in difficulty. Makes you wonder what they originally planned for difficulty to make it consistent.
This appears to be the only way up. Keep an eye out for those rock climber wall hooks. They might be useful.
As I was saying, this would probably fit in better like as the real episode 4 instead of the actual episode 4.
This is great. We've got total access to the train's GPS system. It's all on my computer. Head back to the safe house. I'll crunch some numbers and give you and Murray the rundown.
Whatever, I'm not complaining. If episode 6 wants to be easy, it'll be easy.
Thanks to Sly's efforts, we now know the location of all 3 of the local clockwork parts. 2 lugs and a stomach. John Bisson has grafted each piece to the engine in one of his Iron Horse trains. This improvement allows the trains to run all night and all day. We won't have the luxury of sneaking in while they're stopped. While they're in motion, the only way aboard is through a hatch on the caboose roof, which unfortunately has been locked down. These need to go. First, collect the spice gas from the balloons above town, and then land on the back of the caboose to blow off the locks. Once the way is cleared, I'll suit up and jump into Iron Horse number 1 while it passes near town. With some luck, we'll have the first clockwork lug in a few hours.